today we're going to be working with alcohol inks. Now, although this isn't a medium that I work with consistently, it is a medium that I've worked with before. And when I work with alcohol ink, I prefer to use alcohol ink paper as opposed to canvas. For this project, you can use either or, but let me briefly explain to you why I prefer the paper. So this paper was specifically designed to dry a lot faster. So if you're layering your inks, this cuts your working time in half. Also, because it's a lot smoother than canvas, it allows your inks to flow and blend a lot more easily. And also it was created to prevent any warping to your artwork because it was designed with inks in mind. Now for this project, you can use canvas. However, there is prep work involved. So make sure you apply a gesso to your canvas or an acrylic medium before starting this project. So with that being said, let's get started.
I'm using Kamenskaya inks in Toad, Gold, and White. I initially taped down the paper because it was rolling up on the sides. I'm using the blending solution by Kamenskaya, and I like to pour this onto the alcohol ink paper first because I get a better fluidity with the inks, and I want to spread the inks all over. Here I'm applying the alcohol ink in Toad, and then I'm going to be going over it in Gold, but only in a couple of areas. And then I'll be coming around with the blending solution around the alcohol ink just to blend all the colors together. Another reason why I prefer to use the alcohol ink paper is that I'm able to isolate the ink. So if I want to puddle it in one area, the paper will allow me to do that, whereas I wouldn't be able to have that flexibility with the canvas. This is a product that I really like. It's by Golden. It's a soft gel gloss and it's pretty multifunctional. You could use it to extend the colors of your paints. It's also great as a collage adhesive, and I'm using it here just to attach the alcohol ink paper to the cradled panel. In this step, I'm attaching the paper to the cradled panel, making sure to exclude any parts of the alcohol ink that I'm not happy with. So those areas I'm not happy with, I'm just letting them hang over the panel so that I can remove those. Once your piece is dried, you'll want to elevate your piece to avoid any resin from puddling underneath your panel. Today I'm using Plaster of Paris along with an epoxy pigment. I normally would use the Sakrete concrete pigment, however I ran out of that. I usually use it in the color charcoal, which is pictured here. However, this epoxy pigment didn't come out as dark as the Sakrete that I normally use. So nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and start applying the plaster with my palette knife. For this next step, I know some artists will sand the plaster. However, I wanted to avoid the sanding process. So I decided to take a piece of glass that I had laying around, and I used that to firmly press on the plaster. In this way, I was able to get that flat surface and avoid the sanding. It's inevitable to get some of that plaster on the side. So if you want to clean the plaster off, you could go ahead and do that now. Some people prefer the look of the plaster on the side, but for this project, I didn't want anything on the sides. For this project, I wanted to use a 24 karat gold leaf. You could use gold foil if you prefer. The only thing with this product is that it's so delicate. It gets stuck to anything. So if you're gonna use it, I recommend you use gloves because it will get all over your fingers. And I feel it's pretty difficult to remove. So when working with it, make sure you leave it on the thin paper and then just press along the edges to avoid the rest of it getting everywhere. And here is your finished product. I know the gold leaf can be a lot of cleanup work, but in the end, it's worth it. And what do you think? I hope you found this video helpful. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to receive more videos like this.